have some glare over here. Hold up. Let me try this. I don't know why I'm glaring. Who knows? Okay. So, it is 8:40 in the morning right now. I didn't get too much sleep. I was having conversation. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about something that is very close to me, and that is staying in your comfort zone. I've touched upon this in the past, but I wanted to make a video directly addressing this because, for me, the stuff that I talk about, like my problems, the things that I'm trying to, work on, I always think like I can keep things in or I can use my experience to try and encourage people to, not fall into those things or try to just try to remind people, hey, think about, being this way to a person and things like that. So one of the things that was apparent in my life for many years is that I have this tendency to stay in my comfort zone. I've been around people who, they're a certain way, and then after a while, right, they rub off on you. So, for instance, right, let's say you have a person, or let's say you've been around really frugal people in your life. As a result of that, you may be very frugal because you've had that person like rub off on you. I've had people in my life, right, where they've been saving money, working on making money, and they save, 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 save. They have a house that's fully paid for. They have $800,000 in the bank account. But then, what did they do in life? They spent their time just saving money, couponing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But think about it. It's like me being super cheap and super frugal and super, like, okay, I don't want to spend money. And then you find that like life just passes you by. See, you kind of turn into this hermit mode. And it's not just me. I've been around people, many people in my life, where they're also on hermit mode too. So if you are okay with that hermit mode, right, go and be a hermit. But for me, I thought about it, right? When I was in Hawaii, I had a lot of time to think because I wasn't feeling well for the longest time. And I was noticing, I was hearing things about people, noticing things about people. And I've noticed that there are some people where they're just like me, but it's like add on 30 years. I think about it, I'm thinking like, is that really like a fulfilling life at the end of it, right? Just imagine, like, let's say I stay in a place, right? Let's just say like you stay in a hotel room. Let's just say a hotel room, right? You just spend your day on the internet looking up stuff going on Reddit, right? Let's say you go into your job, you do that, and then after your job, you go back home, go back on Reddit, and then sleep, go back to work, go back on Reddit, sleep. You will amass money. You will save money by doing that. But you won't get to try out a lot of things because you just, you're thinking like that mindset where you got to keep saving money. You got to have this. I don't want to say poverty mindset because that sounds very uh like what's the word? It sounds very, it sounds like I'm looking down upon people. But what I'm saying is like, let's say you want to try out like a cheap restaurant, but you never try it out because you think, oh, I gotta keep saving my money. Never mind if you have something like, six figures in the bank account or anything like that. You keep thinking to yourself, like, oh, I gotta save money, gotta save money. And then you see people who have significantly less, and then you think to yourself, oh, yeah, but I gotta save money, I gotta save money. This is the reason why I've known people where they have, let's say, $800,000 and they just keep just saving money because they've been doing that for the last 30 years, 30, 40 years. And they're at, towards the end stages of their life. And what are they doing? They're still saving their money. Now, if they don't spend their money, what's going to happen? They're going to kick the bucket. After they kick the bucket, right, they're going to be on, let's say they lose mobility, right? Let's say they're like my grandma, right? She's about 90 something years old. I love her very much. But if you don't have experiences, right, you'll live a life where you say, I just spent most of my life just sitting at home, not trying out new things, and just saving money. And I don't want to live a life where I have that, Because again, you have to understand, like I said, well, you have to understand the background that I come from. And that's why it's conditioned for me to just kind of like, okay, stay at home, save money, just do these kind of things over and over because I don't know much of anything else. Again, if I look at my strong supports, right, in my life, the people that I've grown around with, it's mostly just stay indoors, don't go out to the movies, don't do that. Just save your money. And that rubbed off on me. And that's why, as embarrassing as it is, and I don't like to say it out loud, that's the reason why when people look at it and they say, okay, so Erica, where did you go in the last 2.5 years or so in New York? What did you see? Did you see a lot of places? And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I saw some places, but I didn't really see that much. It sucks. It sucks to like feel that and realize that. And it's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. But I know if I keep this stuff in, it's like I'll feel this embarrassment. My ego will be hurt, right? I'll be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe." But that's the reality of it. I just didn't go out because, it's like I just think to myself, "Okay, well, that's my normal thing." And then, when you combine that with depression, you kind of think like, I really don't want to go out. I really don't want to communicate. And that's even worse. That's how you lose a lot of things in your life because you just kind of like go into this wall up mode. And that's why you see me stress over and over, right? You cannot wall up. You have to communicate. And I would recommend to you guys, right? If you know anybody who's stuck in their comfort zone, let's say they're like one of those homebodies, right? You have to just like tell them like, hey, do you actually enjoy being a homebody, or would you rather just stay in your comfort zone? Because there's the world out there that you know you and I can explore, that's outside of these four walls. And I know your habit is to stay indoors, but I like to like go out to that new restaurant with you. I like to check this thing out. I like to see this kind of thing. And I would recommend that you guys do that. When you phrase it in that way, right? Maybe you'll just like ask them, right? Are you really a homebody? Or are you just stuck in your comfort zone where you just always do that? So then you just like naturally fall in line. And then if you bring in something like, hey, I know that you probably have people in your life who are homebodies, like let's say your parents were homebodies, your brother's a homebody, your sister's a homebody. Like maybe that's encouraging you to also be like that homebody lifestyle. And you don't have to, like, some people would say like, oh, Erica, so you're insinuating like you have to, you don't understand, like some people have to like, they don't have that much money. I'm like, dude, go to a park, go to a nearby park, check it out. Like, just travel somewhere, walk in a park, have a picnic, you know, do things or see things, right? You don't have to spend a lot of money. I mean, you can eat lunch at, a cheap place if you want to, or yeah, better yet, just bring home lunch. You just walk around a new city. So I think, right, for me, like I said, I just really, really got stuck in a number of ways because that's the kind of people that I've been around with. And again, they're not bad people. I love the people in my life. I love like the homebodies in my life. But then I look at the downside about it and I see people where they have a lot of money, a lot of money. We're talking millions of dollars. And then you kind of think to yourself, why didn't you do more with your life? Why? I've seen people where they have like tons of, like a lot of money, okay, more money than you and I could ever dream of. And they're still saying like, oh, I gotta work, I gotta make more money. And it's like you have more than enough money for not only you or your wife, not only your kids. You can just unplug and say, you know what, I'm gonna just enjoy my life. But people are creatures of habit. And when they're creatures of habit, they just do whatever they do. If they're a workaholic, they continue to be a workaholic. But again, people have to ask themselves, like, what do they really want in life? You know? And for me, right, I've been thinking about a lot of things and I've been realizing, like, you know what? The reason why I didn't feel like a lot of like things for like a lot of expensive items, like luxury items, is because they don't have memories attached to them. They don't have emotions attached to them. And it would be so much more meaningful to just have lunch with people, like even at like a cheap like $6-10 restaurant, and just have wonderful conversation than just have like a luxury item, like a nice car or something. Because that's what I will remember in my life, right? I can't bring the car with me when I'm like 90 years old or something. But what I can bring is hopefully, right? I pray that I keep my memory. That's the one thing like I do not want to lose in my life, because I think I've told you guys, like my grandma has dementia, and it's sad. It's really sad because it's like she doesn't remember a lot of things. Like she doesn't recognize me. And that's okay. That's okay she doesn't recognize me. But then I think to myself, there's a lot of memories in between years that she just can't remember. And it's really something. I never like shared this stuff, you guys. But for instance, right? Like she thinks my grandpa's still alive. He died about 8 years ago. And she reaches out. She's like, oh, when is he coming home? Like, don't put the food away. He's gonna come home. I don't know why he hasn't come home yet. And I don't know if it's dementia. I don't know if her brain couldn't process it because they were together for so many years. But it just made me have that perspective. It's like, geez, wait, she doesn't remember. And I did a stream about this, right? Like she doesn't remember, like she doesn't hold on to like the physical items. What she holds on to is her memories, the feelings that she has for other people. And of that's why I'm a big fan of like fostering relations. I really believe it. You guys, hold on, one moment. Sorry. My nose is running. Like as much as I'm trying to be more of a logical person, I'm still an emotional person. It's just like when you see people and they're older than you, and you see them go into these like pitfalls and stuff, or you see them just like you just make these like things where you say like, geez, so this is like fast forward 50 years, this is what could happen. It's sad. It's really sad. And that's why I've said, like, I just absolutely do not want to lose my memories, because my memories is like the thing. Like when I pass away, right, when I'm on my, hopefully, right, many years from now, I don't want to think to myself like, I don't remember what happened between this age and this age. Maybe I wouldn't remember that. But yeah, I've known people where they lost their memory and they're just so confused. They don't remember a lot of stuff. And so my grandma on my mom's side, she had brain cancer, and my grandma on my dad's side, he has what's that word? She has dementia. And yeah, it's just like, I hope I don't get dementia, I really hope I don't. But if I do, it's like, it won't be a good thing. So it's sad, because it's like you see these people and then they just like, they don't remember things, and then you think to yourself like, geez, that's a lot of like stuff. It's a lot of stuff. So yeah, I'm hoping that I keep my memories, and I hope that in the future that I actively make memories, because I don't want to live a life where, let's say, I don't have dementia or anything. I really hope I don't have dementia. But I don't want to live a life where I look back on my life and said, I had health. I had, I had health. I had the ability to do whatever I want. And I just chose not to do it, because I just stayed in my comfort zone. And yeah, so that's the kind of thing. Like like I said, don't look too much into the tears. I'm just like a natural crybaby. But yeah, like that's the kind of thing. It scares me. It really does scare me to just like kind of like make that realization, and you just feel so like bad about things. You just kind of think like, oh, you're such a dumbass. But yeah, you can't change things. All you can do is just say like, you're gonna be better. And yeah, so that's why I'm trying to think logically. And I try not to beat myself up about things, because life happens. But that's the kind of things that you need to have happen. So when you have these kind of realizations, you're able to say like, do you let this beat you down, or do you grow from it? And yeah, so again, I know how things appear on YouTube. I know people would say, "Oh, Erica, like why do you film this kind of stuff?" Like I didn't intend to cry on stream, but I know it's kind of like some people would say, "Oh, I could never cry on stream." But my hope is that there's a person out there who will listen to this and they will really just get out of their comfort zone. Because again, I don't want you guys to be stuck in your comfort zone. And let's say 10 years from now, you're 43 and you find you still have the same habits when you're 33 or 53 or 63 or 73 or 83. And then you'll look back at your life and you'll say, I saved a lot of money and I'm happy I saved money, but what did I do with all that money? What was the point of making all that money if I didn't do things with it? If I didn't try to actively make memories? If I didn't try to do just do this or do that. And at that point, right, it's like all your hard work just goes off to another generation if you have children. And the children, they may use that money or they can be conditioned to be just like you and save their money and work and save their money. And then they'll also live a life where they just save their money. And as they get older, they're going to say, "Okay, I have more money. I have more money. Yeah, I have lots of money now." But they wouldn't know what to do with it except just naturally save more money. So think about that. Seriously, think about that. I know people where they have, they have a lot of money, they have like high paying jobs, they're basically doctors, right? And although they have so much money, I know they have like over $1.5 million. All they do with their money is just save it. And they don't do anything else with their money. Like I know this one person, like I don't know him personally, but he makes like $150,000 a year, yearly, and he doesn't own any property. He doesn't, do anything with his life, except he just comes home to Hawaii, and then after he comes home to Hawaii, he just basically stays in his room, and that's what he does with all his vacation days. Yeah. Does he go out to eat? No. He eats like canned goods at Walmart. He's conditioned to himself just to be like that. He's all about saving money to the point where if you saw him down the street, he's the guy wearing holy t-shirts, with full of holes in them. He looks like he doesn't take care of himself. He doesn't, he looks like if you had just seen him walking down the street, you would have no idea this guy makes $150,000 a year because he looks and he acts like he makes, let's say, he's on like he's close to homeless. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way, but I'm being very honest here. And the reason why he is like that is because his mom is like that, you see? So although his mom has lots of money, he has lots of money, he has a much better job than his mom. His mom had a low paying job. He he developed habits from his mom. And that transferred for him to just save money obsessively like his mom. And that's why every year for his vacation days from his job, all he does is just go back home to Hawaii, stay in his room, go on the computer, and then afterwards he just goes back to his job in the continent of the United States, rakes in that money, and rinse and repeat. You know, still eating the canned goods, still living very frugally. This guy has absolutely no dating life at all. He just doesn't want to. I know this other guy where his parents own a multi-million-dollar house in Hawaii. I don't know him very well, okay? But although he has money, he has his own thing, he is so cheap. He is so extremely cheap that he cannot bring himself to go on a date with any chick and spend more than like take her outside of McDonald's. I don't know why. Like this guy has money. He could take her to a $20 restaurant or a $10 restaurant. There's something about this guy where he's so focused on saving money, and I think part of it is because of his parents that he just lets that money control his life. And I wish I could tell you that I was joking. I wish I could tell you like I was making this stuff up about the McDonald's thing, but I'm not. I'm not making this up, you guys. He has such an obsession with saving money that he's not living his life at all. It's like the money just controls him. So money can be a thing to you know, a tool, right, for safety, security. But it can also be that kind of thing where your obsession about money can make you just leave a more like a not fulfilling life. See, I think there has to be a balance somewhere. I don't believe in like frivolous spending. I don't believe in like just being like, oh, okay, I would drop this on this and this and this and this. I believe in making wise investments. And I think making memories is a wise investment. And I feel like I said, I feel like an idiot because it's like I can look back in my life and say, what did you explore in New York? And it's like, not much at all. So yeah, that's why I'm staying in New York longer, and I want to see New York. I want to just like turn turn the leaf around and say, okay, well, if I'm not going to be traveling outside of New York, let me see how New York is. Let me actually do some exploring over here, and yeah, step out of my comfort zone and see how this stuff is because I don't want to live a life where I look back at my life and I say, yeah, so what did you do with your life, Erica? Oh, I made money, and then what? I saved money, and then what? I invested my money, and then what? That's basically it. That's not a good life. And what I've been finding out is ever since I've been getting, some, big mental health support, um, I've realized like what I value so much, again, what I value so much is just talking to people, communicating with people. And that's why you hear me, right, talk openly about getting mental health support, figuring out what are the things that are holding you back from, like, say, reaching out to people and making a difference in your life. Because I don't want anybody, like I said, I don't want anybody getting trapped in their head for a number of years and then just not realizing like all the people they could have met, all the things that they could have experienced or tried. And I like I said, I can't go back in time. I can't, but all I can do is make changes in my life now. And that's why I think New York, even, I think New York, like even though it seems like kind of, sad about things, I see it as like one of those things where it just opened up my eyes. And it's a really beautiful thing. So yeah, I have people asking me like, "Oh, Erica, are you excited about going back to Hawaii? Are you excited about, being back on your little island?" That's why I stayed up until like 3:30 a.m. today, just having talks. And I had to do some hard thinking. I said, "Okay, well, if I go back to Hawaii immediately, what am I going to be doing? I'm going to be just going in my comfort zone, right?" And I'm at that point in my life that I don't I really don't. If I wanted to, right, I could just go hop on a plane, go take a vacation to Europe or something like that, or go take a vacation to Canada and see how life is. I could if I wanted to, right? Like, but I choose not to because I think to myself, like, oh my gosh, the money, or, like, oh my gosh, it's like that. I don't want to say it's like a poverty mindset, but you get what I'm saying? It's like this whole thing where you're just saving money and then you have money and then you think to yourself, like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this because I got to save money. But I think there definitely has to be a balance. So, moving forward, I'm prioritizing experiences above all else because what do you have in life if you don't have experiences? You have sameness. So, yeah, so let's see. I'm sorry, you guys. Like, I gotta reach. I can't like my freaking chat does not scroll. So let me look at this for 1 minute, okay? Yeah, I wish there was like that's why some people they journal. But here's the thing about journaling that I don't like. Okay, some people would say, "Well, why don't you write a journal? Why don't you write a diary?" I tried writing a diary in the past, but what I notice is what I notice, and I want to talk about this in a separate stream, is if I'm not mentally healthy, it manifests itself in the writing. And for me to go back in that kind of mindset, it's extremely damaging to my life. I'm not kidding you. So let me give you an example. Right? Let's say I have low self-esteem. And I'm sorry if this is triggering someone, but let's just talk about that, right? let's say I have you know, body insecurity issues, like I hate my nose. Let's just say that, right? Which I don't, but let's just say that, okay? If I write something like, today I went out and I met someone and I felt like I couldn't talk to them and I feel really insecure about my nose. God, I hate my nose. My nose is so big, or my nose is so ugly, or my nose is so crooked, whatever it is, right? It's gonna manifest itself, and then I'll be like, I wish I could do plastic surgery. Why do I have such a big nose? And yeah, I'm so unhappy because all I do is, like if I read that kind of stuff, right, and I keep writing it down, it's just gonna feed into my mind that my nose is ugly, right? Because I'll be writing that stuff down. I will remember the negative feelings more than the positive feelings, and maybe it's just me, but I don't want to hold on to negativity. I don't want to just like see the negative and then remember the negative clearly and not really remember the positive. Because when I'm writing things down, a lot of the times if my mental state is not good, I'm going to hold on to that negativity, and it's going to show up in my writing. And then when I look back again, I'm going to revisit that, and then I'm going to say, oh yeah, this happened. Oh my gosh, I'm such a you see. So you understand why I stopped doing that kind of thing. Let's see. Yeah, so I don't like looking back in terms of emotions. A lot of my streams that I do, I just want to be upfront with you guys. Like a lot of my streams, I don't rewatch it. But I document it because it's one point in my life. So if you guys see a stream and let's say I'm just like really emotional, I'm a mess or whatnot, like don't think that's indicative of how I am now. I'm a much stronger person. This is gonna sound funny, but I'm less emotional and more logical about things because it's easy for me to just beat myself up. It's easy for me to say like, oh, like, oh, I'm such a loser, I'm da 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 da, and just like kind of fall into those traps. But at the end of the day, right, I think I'm just like a person who's kind of like stuck in her comfort zone. It's a safe thing to do, but it's not the best thing to do at all. And yeah, so I've been having conversations with people, and I've been talking to like people, friends and whatnot, and I'm just like asking them about life, asking them what their thoughts about life is, learning from them, gaining perspective, and it's really something. So, there was this one person that I've been talking to, and he's in the military, and he was telling me, he said, yeah, he has to think about things in a lot more straightforward manner, because he has to focus. He can't focus. His mind can't be distracted, kind of thing. So, like for instance, when he gets items, he's just like thinking, like, do I have a use for this? If I don't need it, right? Like, he's not going to pick it up because he has to move. He's had several moves. He's had deployments, and yeah, just thinking about that, I was just like, geez, that's really something. So that's why for me, I've told you guys about minimalism. Now I'm like decluttering the apartment, and I kind of look at things and I'm like, damn, I have like a lot of crap. Like this is a little embarrassing how much stuff I have. But then, a lot of people that I know in Hawaii, it's like they're kind of like pack rats too. So you can see, right? You can see how like if you come from people where like they're pack rats, you are influenced to also be a pack rat. And then it's like that's the thing that right? If you're around people who don't spend money, are you going to spend a lot of money? Maybe not. You're going to be like, okay, I was raised to be frugal, so I'm going to be frugal, and I'm going to save, 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 save. So the thing is that to get out of that comfort zone, right? You got to break the cycle, or you got to see it from the other side. And I've been so appreciative of people trying to show me the other side or explain to me the other side, because I've never had those conversations before. And that's why when I look at things, right, I can feel shame and embarrassment. And, I feel like, oh, I don't want to talk about this. This makes me feel like emotional and I feel bad about it. But again, I can't, the past is the past. All I can do is like look forward and say, okay, okay, Erica, like go check out that freaking bridge, go check out this, go check out that, go see the things that go make more memories. And by actively focusing on that and saying, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to focus so much on the stuff. I'm going to focus more on experiences. That I think is That is the way that I think I want to take my life moving forward. And yeah, experiences, making memories, sharing laughs, that kind of thing. That makes me happy to think about. And that, again, that's the thing that I never have to declutter. I never have to, put into a box or try to fit in a suitcase. Those are the things that I can bring inside of me, and I can keep it, for hopefully many years to come. And then I can say, hey, I remember when I went to this and this and this thing, and it makes me happy to have that memory in my mind. It makes me happy to check out this like country stand that had, really good apples or things like that. That's what makes me happy. It's not it's not just like, okay, I'm gonna go to a supermarket and buy discounted stuff and then bring it home and cook it and then eat it and then just keep saving money. So um, just think about that, you guys. Really think about that. Again, you don't have to have a lot of money to make memories, but what you need to do is get out of your comfort zone. And when you get out of your comfort zone, that is how you grow as a person. Look at the people around you. Ask yourself if you really would be happy with that life. And if you're not, then you got to make a change. Again, some people are perfectly fine being a hermit, perfectly fine just staying in their comfort zone. But as much as, I don't look down upon them, but I don't think it's just the life for me. And yeah, yeah. So you can go back on the stream. It's about 31 minutes. It's been a lot more focused. I am trying to gain my weight back. I think I've told you it's really tough for me to eat. Ever since I got sick, my appetite just never returned. So I have this little protein shake, and I gotta up my calories. It's really scary, and for me, because if I don't watch myself, I can go down to like 500 calories a day. Um, if I don't, because my hunger cues just don't kick in. And yeah, I'm not proud of that, but I just want to tell you guys, like, that's some of the stuff that I've like had on my mind. If I eat too much, my stomach actually hurts and I can't eat as much food as I used to. I don't know why. I have no idea. After I got sick, I just have struggle eating. Like my stomach does not tell me, "Hey, Erica, eat something, you're hungry." And it's not, it doesn't make me happy at all. So I don't know, hopefully my stomach stretches. My stomach just, I just don't have those, a lot of those cues that I used to have before. I'm not, it's not like I don't want to eat. It's just that there's something in like this, the connection between my stomach and my brain just isn't working very well. And I don't want to stay in my comfort zone where I just like don't eat food, right? So that's why I'm trying to like get some protein shakes in there and see how that goes. But yeah, so I don't know how heavy I am, but I'm pretty light and I'm not too happy about this weight. But what can I do? What can I do about that stuff? Again, I'm not trying to like brag or anything like that. Some people would say like, "Oh, Erica, you're just bragging about it." No, I'm not. It doesn't feel good to eat normal portions and then my stomach actually hurts. Yeah, so yeah, I don't think trauma's a blip. I think trauma is one of those things where it can radically affect your mood and you can get stuck in these cycles. I've had some pretty traumatizing things that happened to me, and by all accounts, I should have more. I should be more beaten down about certain things in my life. But I have this gift, and I call it a gift. Maybe you guys will not think of it as a gift, but I hold on to the good memories and I try not to think about the bad memories as much. I think it's like some kind of like, protective mechanism in my brain. So yeah, I'll feel some things, like I'll remember things, but a lot of the stuff I just block it out. Like my brain doesn't remember it. And that's how I live my life. But I don't want anybody to think like, oh, Erica, just had like a really smooth life. She's never had any bad instances and things like. I know I've had some really not so great times in my life. But yeah, I don't. A lot of that stuff, it just doesn't stick in my brain for whatever reason. And yeah, but the problem is that what does stick in my brain is my freaking comfort zone. So yeah, that's a uphill battle. And yeah, comfort zone right now is just not eating very much because my stomach doesn't tell my brain to eat. And yeah, like I have snacks around me, and I just, like I have snacks around me, and I just kind of think to I know people would say, Erica, Pocky is not like the healthiest thing to eat in the morning, but that's my kind of thing, you know. I just think to myself, like, I want to get some calories in because it's better than no calories. I want to gain my weight. Um, this is something that I have good memories associated with Pocky. I love Pocky very much. But yeah, if you look at Pocky, it says sharing happiness. So this, I think, is a really good snack. So I think it's the snack to make memories with people. Call me cheesy if you want, but if you have someone and you have like, if you're talking to someone and you share some Pocky, it's like, you think to yourself, you have a portable little chopstick snack. It's nice, right? So I would offer you guys Pocky if you guys were here. You get quite a bit. The price of Pocky definitely went up, but yeah, it brings me back to my high school years where I used to eat. I used to eat like so many different varieties of Pocky. Um, I used to use the boxes and tape them on my bedroom door. And I used to try like this toasted coconut version. There's like a men's Pocky was really good. Green tea Pocky, banana Pocky, Oreo Pocky, all sorts of variety. But my favorite one I think was a toasted coconut Pocky. It kind of looked like a Hawaii thing, but most of the time I just do this regular Pocky, and that works pretty good. So today I'm gonna have to buy some strawberry Pocky, and yeah, you know, I'm just happy to have this kind of mindset. And yeah, so I thought of this as like a great learning experience for me. And that's why, I had, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like I actually thanked Lewis for making me stronger, because if, if that didn't happen, I would have just stayed in my comfort zone, you know? So yeah, and he told me, he said, don't thank me, thank yourself. So yeah. Oh, there's a lot of changes in my life. Oh my god, look at this crybaby over here. Oh my god. Total crybaby over here. Yeah, I'm just gonna take that things out. But yeah, that's why I think like, that's why I think like, although I'm sad about things, I'm just gonna be honest, like, although I'm sad about things, it had to have happened for me to grow as a person. And yeah, like I think, if things didn't end, I would have just continued being stuck in my comfort zone. So it just makes me sad to think about it a little. Like, it just like yeah. It makes me sad because it's like I think to myself, like, man, I was really depressed. And you can look back at that kind of thing and you just think to yourself like, that kind of thing. Like, it's sad because it's like you feel like you were such in a bad place and you didn't get, like mental health support. And you were so stupid. You didn't realize how much you were changing. You didn't realize like all the error in your ways, because like the only way that you knew was really yourself and in your comfort zone. And you just like look back at this stuff and you think like, holy shit, you're like, it's like such a, you feel like such a, like a failure in a sense. And people would say like, oh, you shouldn't feel like a failure, but I'm thinking like, geez, I wasn't, I didn't have that like mentality, right? I didn't have that within me, and it just makes me feel like, I couldn't, I hate to say it, but it's like you need to have certain experiences happen in your life so you can be a better person, so you can be a stronger person and you can be a more aware person. And I will always be thankful for that. 100%, like that's why you don't see any like, you just hear about me talking about my life changes and things like that, because yeah, like that's the thing that I needed to have in my life. The other thing that I wanted to share on a little flip side is, yeah, if you don't have your depression, if you don't have your depression under control, right, you will get, like I mentioned, you will get in even worse shape. So there's a lot of things that I think people would benefit from if they speak, and to people, they get help, and then they're able to grow from things and not just let it repress them, not depress them. Because the worst thing is like when you have certain things that make you feel like sad or anything like that, or just like really like, emotional. The worst thing is to look back at those things and do absolutely nothing. That's what I realized in my life. At 33 years old, turning 34 in June, that's what I realized. Like it's okay for me to feel things. It's okay for me to be sad. It's okay for me to cry. But it's not good for me to just like not change. See? Like there's always a learning experience in everything. So let's say if you had a relationship and you have an RX thing, you know what I'm talking about, right? Let's say you have an RX thing. Your relationship doesn't work because you have a huge dependency to that RX. That doesn't mean, that scripts stuff, that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. That means that if you knew your relationship ended, because or partially or heavily influenced because of that, then that tells you that you got to like probably stop being into RXs, right? You need to get help. And if you don't kick that habit, it's just going to like drag you down into the future. And I don't want that for myself, and I don't want that for you too. So if you are kind of like that person where you just kind of, you just feel bad about things, but you don't do any changes, you're doing yourself a disservice. 100%. I don't want you. I don't want you to do that kind of thing, right? So that's why I talk about this stuff. And yeah, it's like I could script this stuff, I could edit this stuff, but I guess I just want you guys to like to just hear me just talk and things like that, and just reflect on things and just think like, but that's growth and maturity, even though I think I'm kind of stupid about that kind of things. Like again, going back in earlier conversation, look at the people that I know who are double my age, triple my age. You know, some of these people, they just lived their life and they just stayed in their little oyster, and they didn't go outside of their oyster, outside of that comfort zone. And the world is such a big and beautiful place. We should actually, we should actually see it more. We should actually experience it more. And yeah, you know, focus on making memories, things like that. So, yeah. So being more minimalistic in my life is a plus. Making sure that I'm mentally healthy is a plus. Making sure that I have communication lines open is a plus. Making sure that I voice the things in my head is a total plus too. And I just don't want to wall up. I don't want to bottle up anymore. Like having, I like feeling like I just don't have to keep things in, you know? And I want people to do the same thing because, again, I had stayed to be the person that I was a couple months ago. I would be walling up. I wouldn't find a lot of solutions to my problems. And if I don't find solutions to my problems, those problems continue to occur over and over and over and over. And life goes on, and I would just be getting older. I get older every day, every minute, every second. I'm 1 second older than I was before, right? And that is what I'm talking about, right? It's about growth, It's about growth and perceptiveness. And I think that people are not perfect at all. But what we need to do is we need to just like fight within ourselves and say, okay, how can we be better? Not just, not just like financially, not just looks wise, whatever, right? Mentally too. How can we achieve our goals? What are your goals in life, kind of thing? And you know, it's just like that kind of thing. Everybody has different goals. You know, some person will say, "Oh, I just want to stay at home and just be a gamer all day." No, if that's your goal and you think you're really going to be happy like that, you can do it. You know, it's a free country. You can go out, and if you want to just like sit on the side of a mountain all day, go right ahead. You know, you have the freedom to do it. But what you shouldn't do is you shouldn't like limit yourself in this like small little area and say this is all I can do. Right? You don't have to limit yourself and say, okay, the only thing I can do is just stay indoors. The only thing I can do is just do this, because I think that is a indicator of depression right there. And it's important for you guys, if you know anybody, you know, who kind of feels that way to you, poke them out. Poke them out of their comfort zone. Hey, do this, do that. Hey, do this, do that. Because, yeah, I think it's extremely important. And I am just one person, you know, just talking about depression, but there are so many people going through depression who don't document this stuff. So many, I'm sure there's people who have like similar thought processes as me, but they never ever, you know, share it on YouTube. All right. Yeah, it's not, I don't think it's cool to do these kind of streams on YouTube. I think that people think to themselves, "Oh, I'm going to look like a fool. I'm going to look bad." But, you know, what is emotion? Everybody shows emotion in their day, right? Everybody everybody has feelings. Some people bottle up their feelings, but other people don't. And I truly, truly believe people should not be bottling up their feelings. Feelings need to be felt by other people. You don't just be like, "Oh, you know, I'm gonna bottle it up," and then when it gets to a point, it turns into a freaking explosion. Because then what are you gonna do, right? People are gonna say, "How come you never told me earlier? How come you didn't? You know, how come you never told me that? You know, this, and this, right?" It's just like that's the downside about bottling up feelings. You might be thinking you're doing a good thing, but you're not. Take it from my experience, you're not doing a good thing by just like hiding away certain feelings. And yeah, so that is just my little indicator and reflection on the past. I don't like, again, you know, I don't wanna like harp on this all day kind of thing. 1 hour a day. Or just talking about feelings, I think it's good enough. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, I am, you know, better, and I am stronger, and I am more perceptive about things. Um, there are some conversations I've been having about life, and conversations that I've been having about, you know, certain habits of mine, and I'm very, very appreciative of those conversations. Like, it's easy to tell me what I want to hear. It's harder to tell me what I should hear. And as painful as it can be to hear certain things, I need to hear it. You know, I cannot grow if I don't hear certain things. Like, for instance, right? Let's say this, okay? This is just an example. Let's say you're studying for school, right? You never take a test. You know, you never get feedback from your teacher about your essay. If you don't get that feedback, you won't know how you compared to a standard, you see? So let's say you're writing an essay and your grammar sucks. Your teacher never gives you feedback, never gives you a grade. You're going to say, "Oh, you know, I guess I must be perfectly fine." That kind of thinking doesn't help you improve, because at the moment that you think you're fine and you don't see your flaws, or you don't see your grammar issues or whatnot, you're gonna be very tempted to be complacent. And you might think to yourself, "Oh yeah, I don't gotta improve my spelling or my English skills or my writing. It's yeah, I'm fine. You know, it's fine. Like, it seems like everything is okay." So that's why I don't like having people who are just like yes people in front of me. I don't ever want to have yes people in front of me who just tell me what I want to hear. Tell me what I need to hear. That's the real basis of trust, right? If you do not feel comfortable telling me things what I need to hear, then I don't think it's a genuine open communication. But it's all about wording too. So like, if I let's say writing an essay, right? I don't want the teacher to be like, "Hey, you know what? I noticed you have some problems, let's say, with spelling." I want the teacher to be like, "Hey, work on your spelling. You know, your spelling is not that great. I don't know, try to read the dictionary, try to do spell check, something like that." You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a suggestion. It's much better than, "Hey, yeah, your spelling isn't that great." It's like, if you do those kind of like, "Oh, but this is what you can do," you know, to like do this or do that kind of thing. Or, you know, if you want to, let's say, work on your spelling, maybe read a book about, you know, I don't know how to spell. You get what I'm saying? Like this is just an example here, but there are other things like that. I think sometimes we have people in our lives. They sit back and they see things, but they just stay silent. And again, I don't want people like that in my life. I don't. I don't want to be the kind of person where it's like I have great relations with people, but then they just tell me, they just say like, "Oh, Erica, you're fine. You don't need to change or anything like that." Because I don't want to just stay where I am right now. I want to be better. I want to look at my life and say like, "Okay, Erica, you didn't just like go through life. You tried to be stronger. You tried to be more focused about things and try to be more dedicated kind of thing." Yeah. No, I mean like no, like I'm not, I think I could be doing more with life and things like that. But I think it's very important to just look within yourself and then just say like, okay, what are the things that I fall short in? What are the things that I can work on? And yeah. So I have a few things that I need to do today, and part of that includes exploring, and then afterwards I gotta um, I got to handle some things that I need to handle, and then after that, just like wrap up my day. But yeah, it's been a very something experience kind of thing. That yes men thing sounds like a certain person. I think that some people they're always gonna have yes people in their life, right? They don't want to like rock the boat. Oh no, I mean like everybody has yes men in their life. Every single person I think has a person. It's like, oh yeah, they don't want to offend you. They don't want to say anything bad, and it's just very polite, and yeah. But you got to give things to people straight. The problem is like sometimes when you give things to certain people straight, it's like they can get easily offended. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, you can give positive feedback. You definitely can. I'm not saying, like, if somebody's a homebody, you should be like, hey, why the hell are you staying indoors? No. Just be all like, hey, you know what? I noticed you stay indoors a lot. Do you want to, like, go check out a restaurant with me? Seriously. Do you want to, like, try a new place? Like, let's try to get out a little bit more. Let's try to explore a little or just, yeah. Like, you see it has that, like, undertone where it's like, yeah, I know your habits. You're a total homebody. I know that, I don't know, you spend like 15 hours gaming. I don't think it's the best thing. I think there's more to the world than just gaming. So, do you want to go out and eat at a restaurant and just have a chat or something like that? Do you want to just, I don't know, check out that donut street that I heard about and yeah, check it out. Just that kind of thing. It's like I don't know how I would phrase that. I think it just has like a lot of warmth to it, and that's the kind of thing that makes me smile. You know, it's yeah. So yeah, I've been friends with my exes. I told you that, right? Very very fortunate that I'm able to have such good bonds with them. And it's not like I'm trying to get back with them or anything like that. One of them's married. I think they're trying. They're. I hope they have a kid on the way. Let's put it that way. Yeah. And I just think to my like I'm able to have open conversation and just be like, so just wondering like, what did you think about me when we were dating? What was some of the things that just I guess turned you off about me, but you never were able to communicate with me? And they would tell me, like I asked them and they told me. And one of the things that they told me is, they told me a few things about me. And I just thought to myself, I said, you know what? You're right. You're right. But yeah, it's like if you're in a like a relationship and people don't tell you these things, right? Because they just don't want to, they fear about getting you down. That's a huge communication issue. Because then people would say, hey, how come you're being like this? Like, I want you to be like a different way. And it takes much more courage and takes more strength to tell something, to tell someone that, is supposed to be your closest confidant to something that could potentially hurt them. But yeah, it's all about wording. It's all about wording. Like if I had a weight issue, right? If I had a weight issue, someone could be like, "Hey, Erica, I know you're packing on some pounds. I don't want to offend you or anything like that, but is there something going on? I just see like you're emotional eating more. Do you want to talk about it? Um, you know, like yeah, well, there is there some stressor in your life? And if someone's like, oh yeah, I'm getting stressed out because, you know, if I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting stressed out because, you know, this and this and this and this, right? The thing could be like, oh yeah, I was just wondering because, yeah, I see you're packing on the pounds and it looks like you're more gloomy. Do you want to exercise with me? You know, we can work out together. And yeah, I know. It's just like one of those things. But yeah, you know, like you see, it's all about the wording. It's not like as long as you word it well, right? And you just come from a place of like kindness. Like that's the way I always try to be. You know, I never try to be like because I just don't think there's any benefit just tearing other people down. If you just be all like, hey, you know, I noticed this, I noticed that, then it's a lot more. It will reach a person a lot more. No, it's true. It's true. Okay, Lawrence, night. No, you can. I think a real man will actually say something because remember, before you gain 50 pounds, if before you get 50 pounds overweight, you'll notice between 0 and 50, right? You'll notice maybe 5 pounds, things like that. Some people are fine with the weight gain. For me, like weight gain's not a big issue. I had one ex who gained like 40 pounds during our relationship, and you know, I didn't think much of it. I was like, oh, you know, I they were going through some things, and yeah, they just wanted to pack on weight for whatever reason, and they packed on more weight that they wanted to. And yeah, I was like, hey, you know what? They're going through their own thing, and what I should have done is said, hey, do you really want to pack on that weight? Because I notice you're more confident when you're at a lower weight than you are when you're at a bigger weight. But I never did that because remember, right? That was a different stage of my life. So now, right, I have more perceptiveness versus before. So if I have, you know, someone that I'm dating and I see them packing on weight, I would just say, "Hey, you know what? I notice that you're packing on a little weight. I don't mean this offensively at all, like 100%, but I want you to be happy, you know? And I just wonder, like, are you happy with the changes that I'm seeing? Because I don't want you to pack on, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 pounds and then look back and say, how come I didn't notice that I was packing on weight, right? Before you get to 50 pounds, you get to 5 pounds first. Yeah. So that's some of the things that I just think. That's why I strongly, strongly, strongly believe in open communication, 100%. If you are able to openly communicate, you'll be able to handle a lot of problems, you know, in your life in terms of like thoughts. And I think sometimes, like for me, I'm guilty of making a lot of assumptions about things because I'm a very emotional kind of like person, but I've been heavily working on being more logic based than emotion. So I still have the emotion, don't get me wrong, but you can see that I'm not letting really that emotion affect my life as much because I think like I want I want to just change, you know. I want to do more with my life and just be that person where they just say like, yeah, I'm just going to continue being frugal and continue save and I'm just going to stay indoors all the time and things like that. But that doesn't make a fulfilling life at all. Yeah. So I got like 2 minutes before it turns 1 p.m. I gotta like hop into the shower and things like that. But yeah, that is all I wanted to say. You know, thanks for watching my stream with my emotions and things like that. But I really hope, again, I really hope that this stream just maybe provides a wake up call or just a gentle reminder to people about life and our choices in life and how we have control over our life. But ultimately, it is our mind who dictates where we go in life, right? Our mental strength, our fortitude. And I hope that you guys work on becoming mentally healthy and just go after whatever you want, right? And always seek to improve, always seek to be a better person. Don't be, you know, don't just think I'm just talking about better in terms of like finances or something or like body image. I'm saying better like as a whole person whatsoever. So yeah, you guys take care. You guys have a great morning. It is 9:40 a.m. So this is a good start. This is a good start for me in terms of time. I wish I did this earlier, but yeah, I didn't. But at least I did my 1 hour stream. Okay, you guys. See ya.